So now with that, we've got a couple more sessions this afternoon, and I would like to take this opportunity to hand it over to Pamela Russo from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, who has really shepherded this work in the development of the community of practice since its inception. So please join me in welcoming Pamela.
Hello. So I'm here on behalf of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation to celebrate all the work that's been going on. And because you're in a little bit of a post-lunch phase, I'm going to play the stand-up game. So I know that there are people here who are the only person from their state. Could you stand up if you are the only representative from your state? If you don't know, you can look at the, aha. All right, the rest of you, this is a community of practice. The rest of you need to embrace these people because they're here alone from their state. Just walk right up and meet them and shake their hands and talk to them and, give them a drink at the reception in the same way that you did those new people that Jennifer had stand up earlier today. So now I'm curious, please stand up if you were at an open forum that started during MLC, the Multi-State Learning Collaborative. Okay, you guys have super responsibility to reach out. So I hope you saw those single people from the state and those new people. So that's really where the open forum got its start, in that sort of community that grew and grew and grew. And now the community's growing even more with the addition of new people and with the addition of the ability to have a community that's online, that connects you virtually to all these people. So Jennifer asked you how it's going. Did anybody here hear a great QI project today? Okay. And would you like to be able to keep hearing about QI projects that your peers have done? Beyond just in this meeting, right? So a place that you can go to hear about them is the PHQIX, as in, PHQIX, got it? PHQIX online community where you can see what your peers have been doing in QI. And then there's another message, which is sort of the philosophy of the MLC was to steal shamelessly, all right? And I think I'd like to change the sound of that to share generously. Okay, so we all know that those agencies that have been accredited are getting more calls and emails and requests than they can actually even handle right now, because they've done it and people want to see how they did it, and so I think they are sharing generously, and that's just the spirit and the nature of public health. But you can also share generously by putting your QI project on PHQIX so that your peers can see it, can comment on it, can online ask you a question about how you did something, and then everybody in the community can see your responses to the questions that might have been raised about how you managed to do something in your project. So I'd really like to encourage that sharing generously notion. And among that sharing generously notion is we thought in the beginning of PHQIX that people would use it to see what others had done, to see what their root cause analysis might have been, to see how they used a tool. Like I want to see, I don't really get this prioritization matrix. Let me see how somebody else actually did it and posted it up there so I can see how they used it. And then I've got a better idea of what I'm supposed to do with this thing. But we also thought that people might actually say, hey, this is a pain area for us. We want to do an aim in this area. Let me see what some other people have done. And they might see an intervention that looked like, it had been tested, it had a positive result, and they might think, gosh, I'd really like to see how this would work in our health department. I'm going to have to, I can adopt it, but I'm going to have to adapt it because our context is a little bit different than their context. So we're going to have to do some QI tweaking about how we might do this intervention, but then we're going to test it. We're going to see if it works for us. So we really wanted to encourage that on PHQIX and make it clear that if you adopted and adapted somebody else's, we'd love for you to submit that too. When that counts, that's a QI project that really would count, and it would help us begin to see this kind of spread, this diffusion of innovation. In other words, you don't have to always reinvent the wheel. And there's a feature article on PHQIX, which Jamie might mention, from Marnie about picking up best practices, promising practices, and picking up other people's QI processes that got them positive results to see if you can do it as well. So I think I'm going to stop there and turn it over to Jamie to tell you the newest, and then our group of star users. Oh, I know what I didn't do, Jamie. Stand up if you have submitted, or your agency has submitted a project to PHQIX. See those people with those green ribbons. Okay,
Jamie. Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Pina. Thank you for joining us. And I wanted to say that I'm thrilled to be here again at the Open Forum meeting to talk about PHQIX and all that we've accomplished so far. And I'll start by thanking all of you who stood up just a minute ago and submitted your initiatives to the exchange. We're seeing regularly now more and more people comment on those submissions, and more of them are coming in as the months go by since we went live in November of last year. So it's very thrilling to see more of those come in, and I just want to encourage everyone to continue to think about how you can share your work with your peers and the rest of your community. So I'm going to give a brief update to you about some new highlights related to the website and to the project of PHQIX, and then I'm going to pass the microphone over to three of our community member friends here who are going to talk about their experiences using the site as well. So I'm very happy to report that since November of 2012, we've had over 800 people register for PHQIX. That means they're a registered user they can log in, they can make comments, and I think that that's really phenomenal progress given how short of a time we've been live. There are 79 QI initiatives in PHQIX now. Some of those are under review and others are published fully. So the body of knowledge is growing all the time, and hopefully you'll take the opportunity to go and review some of them at some point. We also have a lot of visits from people all around the country. 5,250 unique locations have visited the website. So we're continuing to grow and see more traffic. Thank you to all of you who have been a champion for PHQIX so far. As we get more and more momentum, we're seeing really excellent results. So one update is that we've updated the website a little bit. We've put the news and events right at the top of the page so you can find it more easily. Also, in the top right-hand corner, there is a mechanism you can use to conduct a search right from the homepage. So if you're using PHQIX and you land on the homepage, you can type a word that you're interested in and find initiatives right from here. Also, we have added our Twitter feed to the bottom right-hand corner of the page, so you can always see what people are talking about. And I definitely encourage you to do that. I'm not going to barrage you with more recommendations for using Twitter. That's Chad's job. Another feature that we've implemented recently is what we call upvoting, or the opportunity to like something. Now, a thumbs up symbol is the international, global symbol for I like something, and I think it's good and cool. If you look around PHQIX, sprinkled all around the site, you'll see these little thumbs up icons. And what you can do with that icon is click on it. And when you click on it, you're voting to say, I liked this thing that I saw. And we put that there because we know that online activity and collaborating online is not necessarily something that comes naturally to everybody at this point. So if you're interested in sort of taking part in the online collaboration of PHQIX, but maybe you are not ready to submit submit a QI initiative, and maybe you're not ready to post your own original community forum, or maybe you're reticent to comment on something with a paragraph that you've written, you can just click on something and it will just vote it upward. And it will basically just be a vote of confidence for your peers, for them to know that you really dug what they did, and that's really great. So I encourage you to go to the site and upvote things and give that feature a try. There's also an incentive occurring throughout the month of June where if you upvote something, you're entered into a drawing and you can win some fun things. I'm not going to tell you what. You have to go to the site to find out. We also posted just this week a new video highlight, which Louise will speak about a little bit, but it's called Operation Chuckwagon, and it's all about food truck safety. Now, this is an initiative that was submitted to PHQIX, reviewed and published, and then we went on location and filmed this short video documentary so you can learn more about the initiative and sort of have sort of share in the experience with them. And it's really fun to watch, so I encourage you to go to the website and check it out. And right from the homepage, you can click on a link that will bring you to the formal PHQIX submission, where all of the information, all the QI tools that they use are published there and available to read. We also recently published a series of agency quality improvement plans. Now, on PHQIX, we have a community forum. And the community forum allows members of the community, like all of you, to go and post an idea or post some comment that you might have. One that appeared on the community forum was a request or a question. Would you be interested in seeing agency QI plans? And it turned out that a resounding number of people said that they would like to. And so we contacted 4 health departments that are all FAB accredited, and they shared their agency plans with us. So it's a great opportunity if you are in the process of accreditation to take a look at their agency plans and get a sense of what those look like. You also can see the reviewer comments from FAB provided, that FAB provided. So if you're wondering, what does it look like when people review an agency plan, you can see that as well. So that's available now. We also recently began sending out our Quality Matters newsletter, which just has a bunch of news and updates. We'll be sending that out monthly. Now, if you want to receive that, you just need to register as a user on PHQIX. And you need to make sure that you do not uncheck the box that says, may we contact you. If you're a registered user and you're not getting the newsletter, send us a message and we'll add you to the list and make sure you receive it. It's a really easy and fun way to get updates about what's happening in the public health quality improvement world. We've added a lot of new partners. I was joking with a friend and said this looks like a NASCAR race car covered with logos. But we've established relationships with a lot of public health interest groups around the country. And we're all very excited to have these groups on board to help us spread the word about PHQIX and share what we're working on. So our community is growing through our partnerships with all of these groups, and we're very thankful for that. Okay, now I'm going to hand the microphone over to Laura Sani Spencer to talk about her experience with PHQIX.
Okay, I guess I'll just sit here since this is informal. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my experiences with PHQIX, and I learned about quality improvement initiatives through a variety of ways. I browsed the community forum to get insight into what other health departments are doing, what other public health entities are doing related to quality improvement in public health. So this is a one-stop shop here instead of like Googling and going through masses of clicking on links and then see that this has nothing to do with it. So this is a great one-stop shop. I browsed the QI submissions, and what I also think is really neat is the Ask the Expert. I haven't asked a question yet, but I get to see what other people have asked and kind of look. So again, if I go in there and browse, maybe for something specific, I may actually find something that I didn't previously know even existed or I hadn't thought about it before. So again, it's just a great way, a great resource. And then also looking at the media, pictures, videos, that type of thing. So I think it's just an excellent resource, and I also encourage our staff to look at that for questions. Again, I think it's a better, especially with quality improvement for public health, I think it's a better resource than even just Googling it, because like I said, this is specific. And then I do follow at Public Health QIX on Twitter, and I find this as a very reliable source, just like APHA, or I follow CDC and various public health organizations and entities. And I feel assured that I get up to date and relevant news pertaining again to specifically to quality improvement in public health. And I think it's just a convenient way if you do sign up and follow Public Health KIX on Twitter, then that information, their news and updates can go easily and conveniently to your cell phone or iPad or computer. So then you do not have to necessarily even go and try to look on the forum. Some of their highlights, they send tweets of some of their highlights, so you may get some relevant information. Again, sometimes it's new news that I wouldn't have possibly thought about before to search. So it just keeps me up to date. And a lot of times my staff are like, how do you get all this information or these readings? Because sometimes it's links, sometimes it's links you to articles or whatnot. And so it's just a great tool to stay informed. And then I personally tweet and retweet about new quality improvement ideas or at least like efforts related to that. And so I'm able to share the relevant quality improvement public health information to my targeted audience. So everybody that's following me can also get that information. And so again, it's just kind of, exponentially grows. But I think it's just a good source for me to get that information out to the people, because hopefully, as I'm wanting to tweet my information, it gives me some credibility to the people that follow me to show that I'm passing on this information that may be important and needed for them. It allows me to also meet and stay connected with fellow public health practitioners like yourself, who are also knowledgeable about public health and quality improvement. So it ups your friends again and your resources when you stay in contact with them. If something may pop up, and because I am now friends or I follow a particular person, then there's a resource there that I can reach out and contact if need be. And also seeing what they post. So again, it's getting more information from them. It's a useful tool, almost like taking notes. But these notes I won't be able to lose, because sometimes I'm sitting here, writing notes down, and then I end up losing it. But when I retweet, then it's just automatically saved on my timeline. And again, I can refer back to, they often post, again, links back to different resources. And so we're able to keep up with that. Public Health KIX also is frequent at various trainings and workshops. So if I'm not able to attend, then particularly I can still get some useful information, because again, they tweet a lot of information that they go through. So that's just a couple of examples of using it. Another example is being able to follow and using the hashtags for Public Health KIX. I can get any pertinent information or messages I want. If there's particular questions, if we want to brag about some of the successes or stories that we're doing, I think it's a great way. And we want this particular segment population of people interested in quality improvement in public health, then we have that targeted audience right there. And all you have to do, tweet, hashtag, Public Health KIX, and then you'll get that to that certain segment of people that you want to get that either question or information or story out to. So those are just some of my experiences and uses with Public Health KIX, but also mine specifically was to Twitter and using Twitter and public health following, and also just using it as a resource for me to get information out and for me to get information.
Great. I'm going to talk a little bit about sharing the incentives from Public Health KIX with my coworkers. And since we don't get the big Christmas turkey in December every year anymore, they were really excited to find out that they could go to a website and all they had to do was register and look around and do a bunch of stuff, look at some of the QI submissions, and they might be in the running to get a mini iPad or a flashlight or one of those QI memory joggers. So we get really excited in public health about things like this. And actually, it was really pretty fun. So I sent it out to everyone in our health department and encouraged them to go to the Public Health KIX website, and I got a little bit of feedback from them. And some of the things that they said were that they really liked the active blog feature. So they were getting on there and reading it and found it to be really helpful. Others said that they like that you see the most updated information on this website videos and submitted QI projects are fresh. They're recently submitted. So when you go up there, it's always new. It's exciting. You don't know what's going to be on the website. It doesn't just sit there for years, but it actually changes, so it's interesting to go there. Our other staff said it was very easy and very quick to navigate through the pages. You don't have to click on a page to get to another thing where you have to click and then click and click to get somewhere. You just go right to various areas where you want the information, and it's right there for you. They talked about how the website is crisp and clean. So for all those people who created it and designed it, it's actually pleasing to look at. They said it's not complicated. They really like it. And you can always find your way back to previous pages where you were looking, so you don't get in there and get lost and go, oh my gosh, I'm in here forever. But you can actually move around. So they really liked that. Somebody, and I think I'm going to talk to our director when I get back, but they said it was easier to navigate than our website. So don't let that get out. They also said it's a good source of information on what other health departments are doing around quality improvement. A lot of times we are so engrossed in the work that we're doing, the world just keeps getting smaller and smaller, and when you go to this website, you can just go, wow, 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 look at all of this really great QI stuff that's happening. And the thing that they liked about it is when you got on there and you searched, you could find health departments that were the same size as you, whether it's state, local level, whatever. You could find out where they were in the accreditation process. Gosh, you could just find out everything, how big they were, a little bit more about the characteristics of their population. So if you have, you might be looking for somebody who's working in more of a rural population. You go, oh man, that's me, I gotta go there. I wanna see what they did because we're small too, stuff like that. And they liked how you could also just sort of browse. You could either look it up by a search word, a keyword in there. You could look it up by the size of the jurisdiction who's doing the QI project, or you could just get in there and just look at everything that everyone's doing. And they liked how it would give them ideas, like, oh, this looks like something we might be able to do here, or there are some aspects of it that are applicable to what we're struggling with here. So it was a great place to go to learn about QI performance management, read some really quick, brief articles on things that were important. And they did like the thumbs up. They thought that was sort of fun to get on there and start, liking different QI projects or comments, things like that. So that's a little bit the feedback we got about this. And we also, as Jamie mentioned, uploaded a QI project called Operation Chuckwagon. And it has to do with improving services around the mobile food vendors, which is a real hot ticket item right now across the country. And so the feedback we got from our team is that the system, the Public Health PHQIX system, automatically informs you when someone has left you a comment. And when our QI team leader first got a notification in his email inbox, he said he was really excited because somebody actually read it and made a comment on it. And he was so excited he immediately went to the website to see what they had to say. And that was really cool. He really loved it. He discovered that with the popularity of the mobile food vending, other health departments are experiencing similar challenges. So what he liked about it is that, he said sometimes you're struggling, you feel like you're the only one out there. So it was nice to be able to connect. He was able to exchange contact information, email, and get connected. They could talk about some of the regulatory things that were going on. They discussed, tracking methods and things like that. So he really loved having that on there. And then they were chosen to be filmed. And he said it was easy. They were honored to be selected and be chosen for this. And he said the people that came in were absolutely professional. There wasn't any time wasted. They came in, they were organized, they did their stuff. They put all of the staff at ease, because a lot of our guys have never been before in front of a camera before. And they got in there, and it was just so comfortable, easy to do. It was really enjoyable. They said it wasn't intrusive. They dedicated about 2 days for the filming because they did go out in the field and got some of our consumers to participate also. And everyone was thrilled. The last thing I want to share about this was that submitting a QI project, uploading it to Public Health KIX is easy. It's easy to navigate. The directions are really clear. He did say it takes a little bit of time to do it. You had to put a little bit of time into it, and you had to put a little thought into it. But if you follow the directions, it's really pretty easy to do. It's very professional. Ultimately, he likes the idea that we could share what we were doing with everybody in the United States, and other people could learn, because I know we like to learn from other people also. And their hope was that other people could learn from what we did.
My experiences would go along the lines, I think, that Pamela began to share today about thinking about sharing generously as well as stealing shamelessly. In our agency, we have really tried to do both. We have tried to be contributors and offer something of value to others, but the practical reality is we've gone there for selfish reasons as well. Looking on the site around topics that we have submitted, it has been very interesting to find the comments that others have offered, or to go to the end of the article and click on articles that are similar or submittals that are similar. And we have learned so much from the rest of you who have submitted things that we then shamelessly steal and incorporate into our practice. And then at some point somebody says, wow, Spokane had a great idea. And truthfully, it came from you. And we're so thankful for that, but I think it is part of an evolution. It means that we should all be trying to find ways to help one another. Really what we're about is improving the services that we deliver to our populations, and I think this tool is amazingly helpful. We've had the opportunity to also submit a video and had the very same experiences that you did with it being done very professionally and quick. And many times I have talked about Alexandra Hayes, who is the person in the video, and the great work that she is doing for our agency, and direct other people there. So it has been something that I think has been a real staff morale booster. It has helped us a lot that way, but it has also then allowed us, in particular the people who have done the submittals, to make contacts with others of you in the public health community and begin to dialogue on the phone, on email, about what was your experiences in a certain situation and how can I apply that in my agency. A lot of that is starting to happen. I have also found it really helpful to do the Ask an Expert piece and read those comments back. I glean a great deal of information from those. So I guess my thinking about how this tool can be improved is simply by all of us doing our part to submit more of the things that you're doing, because I know how valuable that's been to me to learn from you. And in response to that, as we continue to do quality improvement in our agency, we will commit to also putting those out there and submitting them with the hopes that they will be of benefit to some of you. I think it is a terrific medium. It is one that is making a difference in our agency, and I believe it is possible for it to make a difference system-wide.
Thanks very much to the three of you for joining us. I'm a little teary-eyed right now. That was wonderful. So I guess I'd like to start by saying, as we conclude this piece of our presentation, that's time for everybody else here in the group to take part in PHQIX in whichever way makes sense for you at whichever point you're at in your QI journey. You could start by just going to PHQIX and looking around the site, seeing what's there for you, figuring out how you might be able to relate to this online community of your peers. You can try the like feature, like I mentioned before. There's an incentive right now. By using the like feature, you're entered into a drawing, and you might win something very cool, like Louise described. Take a look at the Operation Chuckwagon video. We were very tempted to play it today, right here in the presentation. I actually really wanted to, but we thought it would be more meaningful to have you visit the site and have that be an incentive for you to go to the site and watch the video from there. It's a lot of fun. You get to see ham sandwiches getting fried. It's great. I really, it was a lot of fun to make. And also look at the one that Tony described from his organization as well. I think there's a lot to learn, and it makes the experience of QI a little bit more relatable than just, just reading the documentation. Seeing the faces and hearing the voices and the accounts of what they've done, I think really helped to drive home the importance of QI in public health. Go ahead and start a community forum post if you're inclined. We're very interested in hearing your thoughts about just about anything. And the community forum is open and available for you to access and to make a comment or to start a thread of your own. We're actually running an incentive just here at the Kofi meeting where if you log on to PHQIX and either start a new community forum thread or comment what we're saying substantially to some QI initiative or community forum. In other words, you say something with, you offer some new insight or thought to the thread. You can't just go and say, hey, I like this thread. That doesn't get you in. So just for this initiative, or for this meeting, go in and offer a comment, offer some feedback, relate your experience to another one that you've seen, and you'll be entered into a drawing to win an iPad Nano, which is a really fun music player if you're not familiar. And of course, as you are conducting your own quality improvement work, please consider sharing it with the rest of your community by logging into PHQIX and submitting the initiative and allowing others to learn from what you've done and also to get some feedback about how you might do something similar in the future with the perspective and thoughts from your peers and colleagues. I'd like to introduce some other team members from PHQIX. Stephen and Berzu, could you stand up for a minute? Come out to the booth that we have out here and say hi to us and register if you haven't already. This is Stephen and Berzu, and I'll be there as well. Yesterday, as I was walking into the hotel, somebody said, hey, aren't you the PHQIX guy? And my response was, is that all that I am to you? But it was nice to make a new friend anyhow. And of course, follow our Twitter feed at Public Health QIX, and we're more than happy to have you jump in and start to comment with us. That's the end of our presentation about PHQIX, but we're happy to take any comments or questions and respond if you like. Thanks, everyone. We'll just sit on the comfortable chairs for the whole time if you want. We'll just kind of relax.
Put your feet up on the coffee table there. All right, great. Well, we saw a question come up.
I tried on my phone to find the Chuckwagon video, and my phone won't play it. Darn.
Could somebody? The video will play on mobile phones if they're able to decode the video format that the video is in. An iPhone, a newer iPhone will do it. I can't speak to every possible phone. Oh.
So you all will provide her a little TA after the session?
Sure. You could come to the booth and watch the video right there if you like.
All right. Jamie, Torney, Louise, and Laura, I want to thank you so much. And then I guess I also have another question to be answered.
Well, I just wondered, are there any issues that we should be aware of? I mean, in terms of the borrowing, using information that other people have uploaded in the sense of, I think about the history of quilting where everybody shared their patterns back and forth and it was all nice and good. And then over time, people started to build careers and reputations on the things that they developed. And so in you know, a lot of emphasis has been started to be put on giving credit to those people who have made some kind of unique contribution. So as a user, are there any guidelines or things that we should be aware of?
My perspective is that we should always give credit where credit is due. It may happen in the third or fourth generation of sharing information that you lose track of who the original contributor was, but we will, at the best of our ability, always give credit to those who are justified in having it. And then an unrelated thought to that is, just when we were talking about the forums, I think though it's an N of 14 right now, we should start a forum from those agencies fortunate enough to have received FAB accreditation, talking about what do we do to make sure that we are preparing for the next round. Would be a great place to interchange that information.
Yes, that's a great point. So, okay, if you view any public health, any PHQIX initiative, part of the summary includes a citation for the initiative. And that citation includes the author's name, the date that the website was accessed, and you know, it's all in AMA format, and it's automatically generated and updated every day. So the access date will always be updated. So what that means is that if you do glean some useful knowledge from a QI initiative that you find on PHQIX, you can just copy that citation reference and paste it into whatever document you use to contribute to from the PHQIX initiative. So that might be a way to make sure that you give the appropriate credit and to note it as a citation.
I think too that this may actually be able to enhance being able to identify those innovators, because as you know, people are going to be acknowledged. You may see a few people start to really rise and say, "Wow, they generated a lot, or they've inputted a lot. They're really good at doing such and such." So this may actually, I think, help with identifying and getting that notoriety out there as well.
Pamela, can you stand up?
So I went to one of the QI award sessions today. I think you were there, maybe. And it was the group from Seminole, Florida. Where are you? There you are. So they said, we adopted something that had been done in Peoria. Now, I don't know the name of the county health department in Peoria. I could probably go look, but they did attribute. They said this was an intervention that they had used in Peoria, which then our neighbor, Clay County, had used. And now we're adopting it and we're adapting it for another use. So I think, that within the community, I think as people can sort of give that kind of attribution or recognition. On the other hand, it's sort of that Jungian thing. Like, I can tell you there are a lot of health departments out there that are doing QI around being able to insert other sorts of public health things into the WIC framework. I think that's I don't know if Jungian consciousness is quite the right way, or it's just because there's an infrastructure that's still there that hasn't gone away. But so some things are just in the ether, and some things I think it's great to specifically state. I found this here, but the virtue of the citation is if you're writing an article, or you need to document that it's a different kind of evidence-based practice, right? And having that citation there to say, we employed this evidence-based practice is a great thing.
Great, thank you. Let's thank again Jamie and his team up there, and I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Les Beich to move us on to the next session.